Hello dogs. I thought I'd fire up some videos for our homework questions for the weekend. And I'm going to do them in parts. So let's start with question number 2. Classify each of the following compounds as an alkane, an alkene, or an alkyne. Explain your reasoning. So this is where having full structural drawings is going to come in handy. Let's light it up. Part A. So we're going to take our CH3. We got another C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it looks like it's helping to have some graph paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Now, our first carbon. Let me move this down a bit so I got some room for hydrogens and bonds. So we'll start with our H. Whoops. You'll have to forget the background noise. I'm just chilling on my gazebo on my deck. It's a nice night out, so you might hear some things, namely my dog barking and some background traffic, but that's cool. It's just providing some atmosphere. So our first carbon, as you see, has 3 hydrogens on it. Second one has 2. Third one, well, it just has 1. So what that tells us immediately is that there's a double bond here. And the same thing with this next one here, the fourth. Only has 1 hydrogen on it. And finally, 3 hydrogens on this end here. So we see that this thing is an alkene, because that's the only way that we're going to satisfy the valence for these 2 carbons up here. Alright, now technically these are, this one is a propene, or sorry, pentene. But we got to remember our carbon numbering. Now I know they didn't ask for the name, but I'm going to add that in just for good practice. Okay, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we're going to call this pent dash 2 dash ene. I don't like this system. I grew up calling it 2-pentene, and that just sounds easier to say and nicer to write. But somebody made this change, and I'm not one of those chemistry geezers, so I'm not in charge of that decision. So let me move this down so we got some more room for the other one. Okay, so this is an alkene. It's got that double bond. All right, section B. So I'm looking at these first ones, and if you have that terminal carbon there, and that guy connects there, this also is an alkene. And again, if we just play it out by its full structure, let me think here, how many layers do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, whoops. Make that carbon a bit bigger. Now, it's only got 2 hydrogens attached on the end. And we know with our alkenes, or sorry, our alkanes, that if they're saturated, they're going to have 3. So if it's got 2, that immediately sends off an alert that we're dealing with a double bond on that case for that terminal hydrogen. On top of it, you got this hydrogen here kicking off, and then you got carbon with its 2 hydrogens, and I'm just drawing above and below. And finally our terminal, one with the 3 hydrogens, just like that. Okay, so again, we have ourselves an alkene, and we can name that thing. There you go. All right, so quick numbering. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so this one here is called bute 1 ene. And I'm color coding things as we go. You guys don't have to in your answers. If you do, it's not wrong. But it's just a bit time consuming, especially on a quiz or a test or a quest, as it were. Our in-class closed book activity coming up. Alright, this next one, when you see carbons without any hydrogens, well, that's going to be a giveaway that you're dealing with an alkyne. And there's another one there. And actually it's going to that end there and that end there. So this is actually a diene, which is not a word we use too often. Okay, I'm going to make some room over here. Let's move question 3 down. There we go. Alright, so part C. So let's zoom back up. CH, C, CH2. So if you just have CH on the end, well, that means there's got to be a triple bond there. 1, 2, 3. Which means that this next one is just going to connect up to this carbon with the 2 hydrogens on it, connecting up to another carbon with no hydrogens, connecting to a carbon with 1 hydrogen. So there's your diene. Okay, so alkyne. All right. So, in fact, it's a diene. There we go. All right, so let's do some numbering and see which ways it. This thing's kind of perfectly symmetrical. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So what we see here is that the bonds are on 1 and 4. That's our lowest numbering, and that's going to go either way. Let's play it the other way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So either way, it's 1, 4. So pent 1, 4, diene. And so activating that nomenclature is a really good way to justify that explanation. So that's question 2. Signing off, dogs.